Hey there and welcome back to part 3 of our Unity UI builder. Today you will see how to create a TabView with a scroll list and some static content which will fold out and one page with an image. So let's start in the UI builder. Here we have a group box which contains all elements. Then we have two groups, one for the buttons and one for the contents. The button group here contains 3 buttons, which all have the same width. I created one class for the active button to change the background when the button is active, so you can see which group is currently active. I also created another class, TabButton, so I can influence all buttons at once. So when we have 3 buttons in our button group, we also have to have 3 contents in our content group. The content group also have a general class, so we can influence every content width at once. So in our content 1, we have a scroll view which is currently empty, because we fill it with animal names from our script. In the content 2 group, we have a standard foldout element attached, which contains a foldout element. And this one contains a label. The content 3 is empty for now, because we load the image from our script. So to switch out the content, we now simply set the display to none for one group and the display to flex for another group. So let's jump to the script to see how it's done. In this TabView helper you see we have a variable for every element. We also get a UI document and our view root just as in the previous videos. Then we start to assign the variables by starting with the contents and then by assigning the buttons. For every button we need a click handler. But before that, we make a general method to make sure to display just one content. So in here, we switch by the content name and then display the current content and set the display to none for all other contents. So now we can implement the first button click event handler. In here, we set the active button class and remove the active button class from all other buttons. Then we can set the content 1 to visible. And for this one, we have to generate all animals. So we get a random animal from our animal list and generate a new label with a class scroll view label and add this one to our scroll view. In here we also check if the device is a handheld, so a mobile device, and disable the vertical scroller visibility. The button 2 click is simpler because we just have to change the active button and the active content because it's just a static content. For the button 3 or the content 3 we do the same as before. We set the active button and the content visibility, but in here we check if there is content on the side. If not, we generate an image from our resources. Set the width and length to 100 and add it to our group. For the sake of completeness, we load the animals from a text file and convert it in a string array. Then we can load a random animal from this array. So, I hope you learned something new today. Subscribe to watch more tutorials and I'm sure I see you in the next.